Fred made its way over portions of Cuba. It's going to continue to make its way into the southern Gulf of Mexico, and that's going to be a determining factor of how strong Fred gets. Right now, still a tropical depression, winds only at 35 miles per hour. But if you look at the track of Fred here, notice that it's pushed a little further off to the west once again, leaving the Florida Peninsula outside of the cone, making its way a little closer to the western Florida Panhandle over by Pensacola into Mobile, Alabama, and even now including on the western part of the cone portions of Mississippi. That's good news for us, not so good news for the northern Gulf Coast. They're watching it there. So if we're taking a look at what we can expect here for Florida rain potential, some of those showers on the outer bands of Fred may reach the western coast of Florida, but it's unlikely that it'll reach all the way to the Jacksonville area. Heaviest of rainfall is going to move over the Gulf and then right along the northern Gulf of Mexico there as it continues to push off to the north as you head into Sunday and then into Monday and Tuesday there for the impacts of Fred. Now we also have Tropical Storm Grace, which formed overnight. And if we take a look at the cone of uncertainty, you head here into Sunday, making its way closer to those areas of Puerto Rico and the Dominican Republic by Monday, and then making its Wednesday and Thursday somewhere around the southern tip of Florida as you head into Wednesday and Thursday. Right now, max sustained wind speeds at 40 miles per hour. And again, it's moving west at 22 miles per hour. So the storm is really booking it, but it will be moving over land at some point. So that could lower the intensification just a little bit. We're going to be watching this one very closely. Most of the models are suggesting it's going to make its way over the Dominican Republic, past portions of Cuba. But the real question with Grace will be, will it make that northeasterly turn before it hits the Florida Peninsula, or will it sky by the southern tip of Florida by Miami and then move into the Gulf? That's going to be the big question with Grace that we're going to be watching here very closely over the next week or so. So temperatures outside 75 degrees, feels like 75, but we do have some rain in a forecast, and I'll detail that out coming up in just a few minutes.
Danielle, thank you. For the 8th straight week, Florida is reporting another increase in COVID-19 cases.
On average, more than 21,000 new cases per day were reported last week. Hospitals are slammed during the wave. Patients continue to come in, but the numbers are dwindling. Those entering the hospital with the most severe cases are unvaccinated. The CDC says those who have a weakened immune system can get a third shot, which will help protect them from the virus.
More vaccine sites are popping up in the area. Today, you can head to Wayman Ministries for a COVID-19 vaccine. First, Timothy Baptist Church is hosting an event tomorrow. All 3 vaccines will be available, as well as the flu shot. As some Florida districts are defying Governor DeSantis' executive order and requiring students to wear masks, the Biden administration could soon take action. So far, Alachua and Broward County school boards have implemented mask mandates.
The U.S. Department of Education sending a letter to state of Florida outlining that it is willing to help schools directly. News 4 Jax reporter Aaron Farrar is live this morning. Aaron, Education Secretary Miguel Cardona sent that letter yesterday.
Good morning. He did. And in that, he said he was, quote, deeply concerned about Governor Ron DeSantis' executive orders banning requiring students to wear masks in schools. A part of that letter also says, and was addressed to both DeSantis and the Florida Education Commissioner, Richard Corcoran. Part of that letter states, quote, in fact, it appears that Florida has prioritized threatening to withhold state funds from school districts that are working to reopen schools safely rather than protecting students and educators and getting school districts the federal pandemic recovery funds to which they are entitled, end quote. The letter also says President Joe Biden is willing to work with school districts directly if Florida's Department of Education does not distribute federal aid. The state has not submitted its plan on how it plans to spend the roughly $7 billion from the American Rescue Plan. That plan was due June 7th of how it plans to spend the money. Cardona also sent a different letter to Florida superintendents yesterday supporting their interest in requiring masks. Education Commissioner Richard Corcoran responded to those letters. In part, his response says that he threatened to withhold funding for schools up to an amount equal to superintendent and school board member salaries if they moved forward with requiring students to wear masks if they did not have a doctor's note. Governor DeSantis has repeatedly said he does not support any kind of mask mandate. Moving forward, Florida education officials say that mask mandates violate the state's Department of Health rule that eventually helped the governor carry out that executive order against making masks mandatory in schools. There will be an emergency state of Board of Education meeting, Board of Education members, and that meeting is set for Tuesday. It will review those letters and its plans of how to move forward. Reporting live, I'm Aaron Farrar, Channel 4, the local station.
Aaron, a lot of information. Thank you. Taking a look at coronavirus in our school districts. Duval County Public Schools reported nearly 100 cases within the first day of school. Since then, even more cases. According to district data, yesterday, August 13th, 47 cases were reported. 41 students, 6 staff members. For perspective, if we go back to August 2020, so 1 year ago, the first case of COVID-19 was not reported until August 21st. That was within the staff population. If we take a look at October of 2020, that is when we saw the first major spike within the school year. Numbers still lower than that of yesterday. Moving north to Georgia, and Ware County school officials say because of the sharp increase in COVID-19 cases among students and staff members, they're closing all schools. All school buildings will remain shut down through August 27th. Staff will return August 30th and will have a planning week. Students then return September 7th. Of the nearly 5,900 students enrolled in the Ware County School District, 76 have tested positive for COVID-19. 679 students are in quarantine, 67 school employees have the virus, and another 150 have been quarantined. Ware County has 950 staff members.
Starting St. Johns County school year off on the right foot. Monday on the morning show, see inside one of the district's newest schools before students even walk the halls. Plus, we are deciphering the district's new dress code. The rules that may leave some parents feeling confused, and don't miss our live weather and traffic updates so you know exactly what to expect when you walk out the door. We want to see how you and your student are preparing for the new school year. Post your pictures and videos on news4jax.com/snapjacks, and you can see your child right here on Channel 4.
Breaking overnight, one person is dead after a motorcycle crash on Blanding Boulevard. FHP says a motorcyclist was heading north approaching Londonderry Drive. As the biker came to the intersection, it ran into a car. The rider was taken to Orange Park Medical Center where he was pronounced dead. The driver of the car walked away not injured.
Revitalizing the riverfront, the development plan chosen by Downtown Investment Authority still needs to be approved by the city. It garnered much attention for the 150-foot Jack sculpture, but it also includes a park pavilion building, a sky garden, outdoor dining options, and walkways to the Main Street Bridge. The entire project could cost as much as $30 million. Contract negotiations are ongoing, but Mayor Lenny Curry is expected to sign off on the deal. However, if Jacksonville City Councilman Matt Carlucci gets his way, the Riverwalk may someday become just as vibrant as the waterfront area of downtown St. Petersburg. Carlucci recently took a trip to St. Pete to meet the former mayor, who was credited with turning that city's downtown area close to the bay into a destination hotspot. He says areas along Jacksonville's river could be more vibrant, more green, and offer more for people to enjoy. Carlucci proposes turning 75 acres of city-owned property downtown along the river between Metropolitan Park and the Berkman Marina into a park with lots of oak trees to provide shade.
You could have weekend festivals, you could have concerts, you could have cultural activities, places for kids to play in splash parks.
Include a floating restaurant, a pier in Shad Khan's proposed Four Seasons Hotel. Officials will hold the town hall meeting on the 25th at the Jesse Ball DuPont Center. It is from 5 to 7 that night.
Yeah, this is one of our most talked about and viewed stories on news4jax.com right now, with a lot of you sounding off on the vision of Councilman Carlucci. One insider says this sounds like an idea which can positively affect citizens of Jacksonville and visitors alike. So refreshing to read this idea. Let's keep thinking in this direction. You too can give your opinion on this story or any other story for that matter on news4jax.com. To do so, you must be an insider. To join, head to news4jax.com and find the blue button at the top right-hand corner.
Family, friends, and fans are saying goodbye to longtime Florida State football coach Bobby Bowden. He passed away after a battle with pancreatic cancer at the age of 91.
Yeah. Fans have been lining up on campus. There will be a celebration of life event for him today. News4JAX sports reporter Jamal St. Cyr spoke to fans who lined up for hours to pay their respects.
On Friday, services for Coach Bobby Bowden started at the Capitol building in Tallahassee. It was an emotional scene as many fans shed tears while saying their goodbyes.
Well, I didn't realize it till it happened, and I was out of town. I was in Denver on Sunday, and I heard the news, and I actually cried. I'm about to cry now. I have tears in my eyes, and it's just a different generation.
Coach Bowden led Florida State to 377 wins and 2 national championships, but fans and former players I spoke with said it was the person he was off the field that they'll remember the most.
Bobby was just always there for us as the fans. From the time I was a little kid to when I was in school to when I was a booster or am a booster and saw Bobby, he always acted like he knew me. And whether he did or not, he treated me like I was the most important person in the world.
After the viewing at the State building, Coach Bowden's body was brought to Florida State's campus, where fans lined up in the shadow of his statue to say their final farewells.
My husband was having to work, which he's here now, but I said, I'll get us a place in line because we didn't know what it was going to be like.
Today, the school is holding a celebration of life at Tucker Civic Center. This starts at 11 o'clock this morning. School officials are expecting a large crowd for the celebration. Doors open at 9:30. Then tomorrow, Coach Bowden will lie in repose at Reed Chapel at Samford University. He will also be buried in Alabama. We will continue to cover this celebration of life for Coach Bowden throughout the morning show. News4JAX sports reporter Jamal St. Cyr will join us live from Tallahassee ahead at 8 before doors open for Coach Bowden's funeral. Turning to soldiers to help fight the surge in new COVID-19 cases.
How National Guard members are now being asked to help doctors and nurses on the front lines. And did you think it was an unusually hot last month? Well, you're not dreaming.
Yeah, that mercury was popping, the record setter, raising concerns for the United Nations.
News4JAX, coverage that won't waste your time.
This is our home, this is where our families are, and this is where we're going to stay. In this community in Northeast Florida, Harrell and Harrell, we're proud to sponsor closed captioning.
Positively Jax is brought to you by Land Rover Jacksonville.
In the midst of hate, I found there was within me an invincible smile. In the midst of life, be the reason someone smiles today.
Floridians are fighting back.
We are coming together to do our part.
Getting a vaccine can protect not only you, but your loved ones too.
It's easy,
it's safe,
and it's effective.
It doesn't matter where you live
or what you do for a living.
If you are eligible to receive a vaccine, there's a vaccine available for you.
As we get back to normal,
let's do this together.
Right now, you can join Planet Fitness for no enrollment, $10 a month, no commitment. We're keeping things squeaky clean with tons of equipment and plenty of space to spread out while you work out. And check out the crowd meter in our free app to pick the best time to visit. Don't wait. Join the judgment-free zone today for no enrollment, $10 a month, no commitment. Join in club or at planetfitness.com.
Join now for no enrollment, $10 a month with no commitment. Hurry, deal ends August 16th.
Well, hello, Winn-Dixie.
I want to win!
Look at that big bag of wins. Perfectly picked. Delivered super quick. Wow, look at that big bag of wins. Perfectly picked. Delivered super quick.
We just start at WinnDixie.com/shop online, build our cart, choose a delivery time, and boom, time to kick back and win. Best quality, winning grocery delivery. Winn-Dixie, it's a win-win.
At Farah & Farah, when you fall down, we stand up. Don't let the insurance company play around with your future. Call us.
Don't let inconvenient weather crash your plans.
Blue skies in the morning, showers and storms cranking up.
Chief Meteorologist John Gahn and the Weather Authority. Your forecast is our forte.
We've got cloudy and damp conditions.
Exact Track 4D, counting in every minute to expect delays.
Oakleaf in about 40 minutes time.
Whether you're a rock star parent or steering wheel soloist, stay tapped in and never miss a beat.
If you have the Weather Authority app, you just got to alert.
The Weather Authority on News 4 Jax. Always watching, always tracking.
Tracking the tropics, Fred is expected to become a tropical storm as it moves into the Gulf of Mexico. It is the 6th named storm of the season.
And also the first one in about a month. You are taking a live look at Key West. The Keys have been feeling the impacts from Fred for a few hours. Now, Danielle Giuliano joins us. And Danielle, the system is not the only one that could impact Florida over the next week or so.
Yeah, we're getting into that peak hurricane season time, so now is the time to be prepared, like we always like to say. We have not one, but 2 storm systems that we're watching right now. The first is Fred, like you're mentioning. It's making its way over Cuba, and once it makes its way into portions of the southern Gulf, that's where we're going to be watching for that re-intensification for it to become a tropical storm once again. Right now, still a tropical depression, max sustained wind speeds only 35 miles per hour with Fred. And progressively with the track update, it's been moving further and further west, which is good news for us, not so good news for the northern Gulf Coast. You head into Monday and Tuesday before Fred makes landfall here. Looks like as a tropical depression right along areas of the Florida Alabama border, around Pensacola in the Mobile area. So that's right now the track away from northeast Florida and even our far western counties there along I-75. Now, in terms of rainfall potential, what we're going to see for Fred, the heaviest of rainfall obviously is on the eastern side of the storm. So there is a chance that those locations there, depending on how strong Fred intensifies and how it grows, could see some outer bands anywhere from Cape Coral all the way to Spring Hill and then up into portions of Tallahassee. But it's rare that we're going to see all those bands reach all the way over to the Jacksonville area. We're going to feel very minimal, if any, impacts here along northeast Florida. In terms of the wind, obviously the strongest of the winds are towards the center of the storm, maybe a little breezy along the west coast of Florida, but no direct impacts here for northeast Florida or southeast Georgia. Now we also have Tropical Storm Grace. You can see it's intensifying into a tropical storm before it reaches portions of the Lesser Antilles as you head through the next 24 to 48 hours here. Max sustained wind speeds right now at 40 miles per hour. Cone has it moving right over portions of Puerto Rico, Dominican Republic, and Cuba, and that's a lot of land to move over, and it kind of might tear it apart. So we're going to be watching very closely. If it shifts a little to the north, if it shifts a little to the south, that'll be a good indicator if it stays over water, if it goes right over land. Long story short, once it makes its way towards Cuba, we'll be watching. Does it make the northeasterly turn, or does it keep going closer into the Gulf? That's what we're going to be watching here very closely. Models necessarily bring it pretty much in alignment through portions of Puerto Rico, Dominican Republic, into Cuba, but then some of the models have it making that northeasterly turn. Some of them have it staying south of Cuba, and some of it having going right on top of it. So that's the uncertainty that we're going to be watching here over the coming days. So let's take a look at this one model. This is one of our Barron models. It has it moving over the Dominican Republic Thursday into Wednesday, over Cuba Thursday into Friday, and then this model has it moving into the Gulf. It doesn't necessarily bring it up the Florida East Coast. So this is just one model. These will progressively change update after update in the coming days, and we're going to continue to watch those to see where Grace will end up long-term going forward. Here's a live look over our areas. You can see some clouds, even some fog in some locations. Jax Beach on your top left there, South Ponte Vedra Beach, a little bit of cloud cover, but you can see a little bit of a beautiful sunrise through the clouds there early on this morning. Winds are on the light and variable side for most of us. Calm winds in Jacksonville, 6 miles per hour in St. Augustine, 3 miles per hour there in Brunswick. 74 degrees in Jax, 78 degrees in St. Augustine, 78 degrees in Brunswick. Temperature trend throughout the day will climb into the upper 80s, low 90s for most of us there, but we're also going to increase our rain chances as we head into this afternoon. So if you are heading to the beach, just know UV index high, rip current risk will be moderate along our beaches for northeast Florida and for southeast Georgia there. Live Exact Track 4G radar keeps it calm and quiet right now. There are some spotty showers just offshore of the Palm Coast area down in Flagler County, but other than that, most of us are dry to kickstart our morning. That will change though as you head into the afternoon. Heading around 12 p.m., we have that north-northeasterly flow for most of us, dealing with some scattered showers moving in there south of the I-10 corridor at that Point. Around 4 p.m., most of the heavy rainfall south of I-10, closer to those in southern Clay and Putnam County, and then some showers moving in our coastal areas as you head into the afternoon, into the evening hours. Sunday, same thing. Starting off the morning, mostly dry winds out of the south-southeast, scattered showers and storms moving inland as you head throughout the afternoon into the evening hours for your Sunday as well. And again, that is non-tropical related. That's just daytime heating related here for summertime in Northeast Florida. Rain total sitting anywhere from ½ inch to an inch possible in some locations. Most locations will sit below ½ an inch of rainfall, but rain does stay in our forecast as we head into the next 7-day stretch. Today forecasting that high upper 80s, low 90s for most of us. Still hot and humid out there. Feel like temperatures will be in the mid to upper 90s. And rain sticks with us through this week. The cloud cover will keep our temperatures just a degree or two below our seasonal average for this time of year. In the upper 80s, low 90s. Remember, though, you can always get updates on the New Weather Authority app and on the radio.
Danielle, thank you. The mercury will be popping. Well, it was in July anyway, making it the hottest month on record in more than 142 years. As extreme heat waves are scorching parts of the U.S. and Europe, worldwide temperatures average 62 degrees, beating the records previously set in July of 2019 and July of 2020. The United Nations Science Panel warned of worsening climate change caused by the burning of coal, oil, natural gas, and other human activity.
The California Department of Justice is not pursuing criminal charges against utility company Southern California Edison for its role in starting the 2018 Woolsey fire. The fire sparked during fierce winds, the blaze ultimately killing 3 people and destroying more than 1,600 buildings and burning up about 97,000 acres. The State Justice Department and other state fire officials did conclude that there was not enough evidence that the company violated the law when its equipment sparked the fire.
The housing market has sizzled throughout the pandemic, but experts say it could be burning too hot.
Economists are comparing the data to the late 2000s, right before that real estate bubble burst. The similarities they are seeing is coming up.
Toyota's national sales event is going on now at Ernie Palmer Toyota. Looking for a used car? Shop a great selection of barely driven, one-owner trade-ins, lease returns, and service loaners. Plus, get top dollar for your trade. Ernie Palmer Toyota. ErniePalmerToyota.com.
When choosing a law firm, you have so much at stake. Your future, your family. Don't rely on luck and hope. Hope is not a plan. At ForThePeople.com, you can see our real results. Rely on reputation and over 30 years of fighting for you. There's only one Morgan & Morgan.
Don't just clean it, clean it. OxyClean Laundry and Home Sanitizer kills 99.9% of bacteria and viruses. And that feels... OxyClean Laundry and Home Sanitizer also kills the virus that causes COVID-19.
You know how we're not supposed to reinvent the wheel? Mm-hmm. Why is it good that we keep reinventing the tire? And why is it bad to have your wheels spinning, but it's good to keep your wheels turning?
I don't know, sounds like a loophole.
Right now at Tire Kingdom, save up to $100 on 4 select tires. Plus, get a $70 Visa reward card when you buy 4 Michelin tires.
Oh, I get it. Loophole, like a tire.
I guess.
Mom got Xfinity Internet, which delivers Wi-Fi faster than a gig. So now Pablo can win the VR League and do it where there's room to be a ninja, while Sophia can share her own fashion show. And while everyone is online, she can finally take a little break from being a mom. When internet gives you more, life also gives you more. Can your internet do that?
Learn more about gig speed Wi-Fi or get started with Xfinity Internet for $20 a month for 12 months. Plus, ask about speed 2 times faster than AT&T. Switch today.
It's the first day of the first grade, and she found a new best friend. It's a laid-back Sunday afternoon you wish would never end.
The homemade taste of Bluebell and good friends gathered round. The good old days are being made right now.
Recent studies have shown that too many leg and foot amputations are performed without a second opinion. If this has happened to you, call us. We'll review your case for free to see if your amputation could have been avoided. Farah and Farah.
Now's your best time to buy Toyota Certifieds at Ernie Palmer Toyota. Ernie Palmer Toyota has a large selection of certified Toyotas priced to sell. Every Toyota Certified is backed with a 7-year, 100,000-mile warranty, roadside assistance, and more. Ernie Palmer Toyota.
Next, ET. Kelly Clarkson's big voice announcement only on ET.
I'm excited, y'all.
Plus, our exclusive with Dan and Shay in Nashville. Then, Drew Barrymore stops by next ET.
Monday at 7 on Channel 4, the local station.
A federal judge says the eviction moratorium will stay in place for now. This comes after landlords fought to put it on hold. The moratorium prevents landlords from evicting residents impacted by the pandemic. An extension given by the Biden administration expires on October 3rd. Right now, officials say more than $45 million of rental assistance is available to help families struggling to pay rent. According to the Census Bureau, roughly 3.5 million people are facing eviction in the next 2 months.
Economists say the housing market is cooling off. This after the pandemic created a surge in demand. Nationally, the median home price from June to July was at $385,000. That is up 10% from the same time period last year. It also marks the third month in a row the year-over-year gains slowed. The National Association of Realtors says it is still a seller's market. Last month, the average home stayed on the market 38 days before selling. That is slightly down from last year's numbers.
Yeah, the housing market does not seem to be in a bubble just yet. However, experts say the past several months resembled the late 2000s boom in more ways than one. Economists add the current surge is different because the market is plagued with a case of fear of missing out. However, looking at the data, it does have a similar look to what the market saw in 2006. That was when a bubble began to form. Diving deeper, one of the factors is prices. Nationwide growth is surpassing the numbers seen during the boom in the late 2000s. In fact, several record highs have been hit this year. The inflation-adjusted index surpassed its 2006 peak during the pandemic, and it is still climbing. Secondly, homes are selling at bubble-like intensity. Analysts say the average sale-to-list ratio is also increasing. The winner-take-all environment is becoming problematic. And lastly, experts are pointing to an increase in rent. The relationship between selling and rent prices is approaching bubble levels. Nationwide, it was 1.5 in 2006. In May of this year, that same rate was 1.45. Economists say we are growing closer to the 2006 peaks, but we're not there yet. Tracking the tropics. Look at this, folks. This is Fred. We will be checking in with meteorologist Danielle Giuliano for the latest on its track and the impact it could have on Florida.
You know that fresh made-to-order salad you've been craving? What if you could get it with fire-roasted corn, crispy tortilla strips, and Southwest ranch dressing? That's what we call the Southwest Salad. It's brand new, and it's only at Zaxby's. Redeem rewards, scan to pay, order ahead on the Zaxby's app.
Expertly tailored eye care. State-of-the-art eye exams. High-quality lenses and frames. Because everything we do at LensCrafters is for every sight that makes your life special. Book your annual eye exam now. LensCrafters. Because sight.
Washed your hands a lot today?
Probably like 40 times.
Hands feel dry?
Like sandpaper.
Introducing new Dove Hand Wash with 5 times moisturizer blend. Removes germs in seconds. Moisturizes for hours.
Soft. Smooth.
New Dove Hand Wash.
I got nothing to eat.
Nothing.
Hold on, I can do something.
Turning nothing into something.
Turning nothing into something.
It's amazing what you can do with nothing and a little helpers.
Subaru of Jacksonville, your favorite Subaru dealership, is ready to help you with your new Subaru. Save on one of our in-stock Subaru models, plus get 0% financing. Or order a custom new Subaru, including the all-new 2022 Subaru Outback. And every new Subaru from Subaru of Jacksonville comes with a complimentary national lifetime warranty or 2 years maintenance. Experience the Subaru of Jacksonville difference. Dealer Rater's Dealer of the Year 7 years in a row, when only the best will do.
Drive a Subaru. You'll buy a Subaru.
Over the years, people have asked me, how did your firm get so big? The answer is simple. We won a lot. In this business, you grow by winning. As America's largest injury law firm, we have more lawyers than any other injury firm. Morgan & Morgan.
The Florida Department of Elder Affairs, in coordination with the state's health and human services agencies and local stakeholders, is making sure homebound seniors get their COVID-19 shots. If you or someone you know is unable to leave the house, let us come to you. Residents may call 1-800-96-ELDER to reach your local area agency on aging.
Worst of all, you never call, baby.
Daydreaming again? But I love you still. You know I'm driving, right?
I do.
If you ride, you get it. Geico Motorcycle. 15 minutes could save you 15% or more.
Imagine a salad made with fresh-cut vegetables and warm hand-breaded chicken. Does that even exist? Not yet, because we don't make it until you order it. Try the new Southwest Salad, only at Zaxby's. Order on your favorite delivery app.
Live from the local station, the morning show starts now.
Tracking the tropics, where the Weather Authority is now monitoring two systems. Fred is moving across Cuba as a new system is taking shape to the east. You are taking a live look at Pigeon Key as Florida is no longer in the cone for Fred. Good morning and thank you so much for joining us. The National Hurricane Center upgraded Grace to a tropical storm in its 5 a.m. update, while Fred remains a depression.
After not seeing a storm for months since Elsa, storm activity is picking up as we approach the peak of hurricane season. Danielle Giuliano is monitoring both Fred and Grace. Danielle, will we feel effects of any of these storms?
We'll feel some effects in terms of what we can feel rip current wise and such in terms of Fred, as it does impact the waters. But in terms of heavy rainfall and strong winds, it's going to be a little bit too far away with the latest updated track pushing it to the west. So let's take a look at Fred right now. Very unorganized as it makes its way over portions of Cuba. We're going to be waiting to see when it makes its way into the southern Gulf, how it re-intensifies, and if it really gets itself organized once again. That's going to be the big question as we continue to watch Fred here. So max sustained wind speeds with Fred right now, only 35 miles per hour. That's why it's a tropical depression. Intensifying into a tropical storm, though, as you head into Sunday, once it moves over those warm Gulf waters there, and then makes its way Monday into Tuesday towards the northern Gulf Coast. Notice the track is a lot further off to the west there. We're talking areas of Pensacola, Mobile, Alabama, even in portions of Mississippi. So Florida in the peninsula, you are outside of that cone of uncertainty, northeast Florida and southeast Georgia. So most of the rain impacts, if anyone does feel it in Florida, it's going to be far western Florida and then the panhandle Florida. We're talking Panama City, Tallahassee, Pensacola. That's where they're going to see the heaviest of rainfall make its way through, especially Panama City and Tallahassee, because the heaviest of rainfall sits on the east or the right side of the storm there. Now, in terms of storm surge, you could see some high waters anywhere from areas of Mobile all the way down to Cape Coral there along the coast as the storm continues to push that water onshore from Fred. Now taking a look at Tropical Storm Grace, a bit more organized than Fred there as it moves over open water in the Atlantic, and current track has it making its way over areas of Puerto Rico, Dominican Republic, even over Cuba with the cone of uncertainty as you head into Wednesday, even into Thursday, model suggesting it'll be south of the Florida tip, south of Miami there. Now the big question will be, does it make its path over land the entire time? That could really decrease the strength of the storm. Does it move a little further north and stay over open water, or does it move a little further south and stay over open water? That's going to really determine the track of Grace moving forward over the next few days. Most of the models suggesting that it's going to make its way through the Dominican Republic, Puerto Rico, and then around Cuba. It's either going to split south or split north. That's going to be the big question that we'll be watching with Grace here as we head into the next week. Here locally, you can see a beautiful sunrise trying to make its way over the clouds of downtown. 74 degrees, feels like 75 with calm winds. And as we head throughout the afternoon, we're going to increase those rain chances ever so slightly. And I'm going to take you through the timing of some of those showers coming up in just a few minutes.
Danielle, thank you. The Taliban is launching a multi-pronged assault on a major city in Afghanistan. Insurgents have captured much of northern, western, and southern parts of that nation.
And this comes less than 3 weeks before the U.S. is set to withdraw its last troops. It's unknown how many people have died or been captured. The attack happening 7 miles south of the capital, Kabul. In the meantime, the U.S. Embassy in Kabul is ordering staff to destroy classified and sensitive material. A memo sent out to officials is also asking for embassy or agency logos, flags, and other items to be destroyed as well. They fear those items could be misused in propaganda efforts.
Canada says it will take in more than 20,000 Afghans who have been put in danger. The country's special immigration program has already brought in many. Officials plan to roll out a program to welcome vulnerable groups, including women leaders and human rights defenders. The process to relocate to Canada will be expedited to help those in need.
New coronavirus cases are soaring nationwide. Cases week over week have increased 700% since July 1st.
In late June, the average cases nationwide was about 10,000. The nationwide average now, get this, is close to 125,000. Officials at Johns Hopkins University says there have been more cases in the first 12 days of this month than all of last month. Florida is once again the epicenter of it all, the Sunshine State seeing the most cases over the last week than any other 7-day period during the pandemic. Florida also has the second highest rate of new cases per capita, right behind Louisiana.
Across the country, the National Guard is being deployed in Oregon. Officials say it is to support hospitals in the state as ICU beds fill up. Up to 1,500 members will be available, but 500 will be deployed initially. In Mississippi, health officials there have opened a 20-bed field hospital inside a parking garage. HHS is opening a mobile hospital tent, and that will open up next week.
The Northeast chapter of the Florida Association of Criminal Defense Lawyers is now calling for changes in COVID-19 court protocols. Its president says attorneys are worried about the impact the Delta variant is having on the courtroom. Shannon Choate says the clerks in Clay County got sick, which prompted the courthouse there to shut down. In June, in-person hearings resumed at the Duval County Courthouse after proceedings were held via Zoom for more than a year. Attorneys say they want the option to go back to Zoom.
Judge Mahan just needs to understand that we can do our jobs very effectively, that we want trials to continue to happen, and that is why we were asking for this.
We don't have unlimited resources at the jail to get the inmates virtually into the courtrooms. That becomes a problem. It also pinches the public defender's ability to communicate with those inmates in the jail because we're throwing him off those polycoms.
JSO says more than a third of the inmates in Duval County are in quarantine and 96 have tested positive. Judge Mahone says he does not want to delay court cases any longer.
Up to a third of people who get COVID-19 have symptoms for months or longer. Some symptoms include memory loss, heart failure, breathing problems, and digestive issues. Dr. Anthony Fauci says even vaccinated people with a breakthrough infection can suffer long-term effects. 39-year-old Kimberly Cooley received her second vaccine in February, but a liver transplant in her 2018 left her immunocompromised due to daily immune system medications.
I went to a local clinic near my home and requested a antibodies test and received the results, and I did not mount any antibodies. We really don't have an immune system to fight off the virus. And so, it's kind of a open game.
A study of over 18,000 fully vaccinated transplant patients found that they were 82 times more likely to develop a post-vaccination infection and 485 more times likely to be hospitalized or die from COVID-19. Carnival Cruise is reporting a number of cases on one of its ships. It's heading back to Texas and is reporting 27 people with the virus.
Yeah, nearly all of the cases are crew members. The ship is carrying 1,400 crew and nearly 3,000 passengers. All 27 were vaccinated and reported either mild or no symptoms at all. The company says everyone was notified. Belize health officials randomly tested 68 people who all showed a negative result. Canada is now requiring those flying into the country to be fully vaccinated. The country began allowing those who are fully vaccinated from the U.S. to enter. It has caused a backlog of cars at the border. Officials are looking at extending the reopening to other nations in early September. Canada currently has one of the highest vaccination rates in the world, standing at 71%.
Live Nation is the latest entertainment company to update its coronavirus policy. The company says starting October 4th, customers will need to show proof of vaccination or that you have tested negative for the virus. Live Nation is one of the largest live entertainment companies in the nation. It hosts about 40,000 shows and more than 100 festivals each year. The company adds all employees will need to be vaccinated as well.
Dating apps are now making it easier for users to share their COVID-19 vaccination status. Now that people are getting the vaccine, it might just be the one question that prompts a swipe to the right or left. OkCupid and Match.com have vaccination badges you can add to your profile. The sites will even boost your exposure as a perk of getting the vaccine.
There was a lot of desire to understand who was vaccinated, who was not vaccinated. People are excited. They're excited to date. They're excited to get back out there, and they're making choices based on, their own risk tolerance.
I like it. The function is meant to give users more options to make their dating experience a little easier. New Mexico police say a 13-year-old shot and killed a classmate. Officials say it happened while children were outside for lunch. School personnel and resource officers made sure the rest of the children were safe. The school was placed on lockdown and parents were able to pick their students up. Police say more officers will be on campus when students return to class.
Seattle police fired 2 police officers who attended events in Washington, D.C. during the January 6th insurrection. The department says the 2 crossed barriers established by the Capitol Police, and more courts are now taking up cases of those accused of taking part in the riot. House Democrats' investigation into the events of January 6th continues, and as Brian Todd shows us, viewpoints among lawmakers are growing farther apart.
This is our Capitol! As lawmakers continue to engage in partisan bickering over the Capitol attack,
we will run our own investigation.
This is deadly serious.
Federal judges handling cases of Capitol riot defendants are filling the void of moral outrage over January 6th, issuing blistering rebukes to those accused of breaching the Capitol. Quote, "You called yourself and everyone else patriots, but that's not patriotism," Judge Amy Berman Jackson recently told defendant Carl Dresch. "That is the tyranny we rejected on July 4th, she said.
It's very common for judges to say what was wrong about the crime, especially with defendants who entered into it seeming to think it was okay. It's especially pungent here, I think, for 2 reasons. First, because the behavior was so terrible in a way that the defendants all seem to be unaware of or denying. And second, because the system overall has been so polarized that no one has really stepped up.
Questions that we've been asking.
Indeed, instead of stepping up, some right-wing members of Congress have been spending their time spouting ridiculous, false conspiracy theories about the Capitol attack, like one that suggests the FBI orchestrated the assault.
We really need to know what the FBI knew and when they knew it.
At a hearing for an alleged Capitol rioter this summer, federal judge Royce Lamberth said the characterization by some Congress members that January 6th was nothing more than a bunch of tourists walking through the Capitol is, quote, utter nonsense. Lamberth describing the attack as a, quote, disgrace to our country.
I think they are pissed the way citizens are pissed, and they're speaking partly for themselves and partly for the community.
The exasperation captured by federal judge Reggie Walton, who recently said of January 6th, "It's an embarrassment to me. It should be an embarrassment to every American."
We should be listening to them, especially when these voices come from people appointed by different presidents of different parties. In a sense, it's a wake-up call that the issues at stake in the investigation of January 6th lie at the core of who we are.
Moving to New York City, where in less than a month, the nation will mark 20 years since the 9/11 attacks on the World Trade Center. However, Homeland Security warns of possible violence surrounding upcoming events. The threats include both domestic terrorists and those inspired by foreign terrorists. A bulletin from the agency says the situation is made worse by the ongoing pandemic. In addition to religious holidays going on next month, officials list reopening schools and businesses is also increasing the threat. DHS did not identify any credible or imminent threats.
Tracking the tropics, this is a satellite look at the two named storms in the Atlantic. Grace forming hours ago as Fred makes its way towards the Gulf of Mexico. On the other side of the break, we look at the protected tracks.
Channel 4 brings you the Battle in the Big Easy pregame show. Watch for a chance to win Jags season tickets. You must be a News 4 Jax insider to win. Then, stay with us as the Jacksonville Jaguars take on the New Orleans Saints right here on Channel 4. After the game, hear from coaches and players with live coverage from the Superdome. Watch the Battle in the Big Easy pregame show and find out how you could win season tickets. Live from Island Wing Company, August 23rd at 7 on Channel 4, the local station.
Toyota's national sales event is on now.
Right now, get 0% APR for 36 months on a new 2021 Toyota Camry.
It all ends September 7th.
Toyota, let's go places.
You know how we're not supposed to reinvent the wheel? Mm-hmm. Why is it good that we keep reinventing the tire? And why is it bad to have your wheels spinning, but it's good to keep your wheels turning?
I don't know, sounds like a loophole.
Right now at Tire Kingdom, save up to $100 on 4 select tires. Plus, get a $70 Visa reward card when you buy 4 Michelin tires.
Oh, I get it. Loophole, like a tire.
I guess.
In this ad, pay attention to the actor's gums. Gums? We don't think about them. But like skin, over time, gums can get damaged. Colgate Gum Renewal reverses early gum damage for a beautiful, revitalized smile.
My mom hired a bath fitter to make me a new bath. My friend Jimmy said that when he got a new bath, it took forever. Jimmy didn't have to take a bath for a month. I didn't even get to miss one bath. It's just not fair.
Bath Fitter will remodel your bath in as little as 1 day. We've got over 2 million satisfied customers and 35 years experience. Call now or visit bathfitter.com for a free in-home consultation.
When choosing a lawyer, the choices seem unlimited. Here's what's important to know. The insurance company has unlimited money. We fight fire with fire. Size is our strength. There's only one Morgan & Morgan.
The Olympic Games are on, and Toyota has great deals on Camry, Highlander, RAV4, and more.
Right now, lease a new 2021 Toyota RAV4 LE for just $249 a month for 36 months.
But it all ends September 7th.
Toyota, let's go places.
Walt Disney World is turning 50 in less than 2 months, and the parks are getting ready for a magical celebration. Yesterday, Disney fans got a sneak peek at the anthem for the celebration. The Magic is Calling. The song will connect all 4 parks together during the Beacon of Magic light show displayed each night of the celebration. Park guests will also be able to hear The Magic is Calling during the day in the parks. Epcot is celebrating the 50th anniversary with big changes. Not only will the park have a new Lagoon night show and a Ratatouille ride, the park is opening a new space-themed restaurant. Pretty cool. Space 220 starts with an elevator ride taking guests 220 miles above the Earth's surface. Not something you hear every day. Once the guests reach the dining room, they'll enjoy out-of-this-world food with a panoramic view of Earth and surrounding satellites. The restaurant will open next month, just in time for the 50th anniversary celebration.
And speaking of space, Brianna, real astronauts will have to wait a little longer to take off after Boeing grounded its Starliner capsule. The rocket was scheduled for a test flight with no passengers last week when officials discovered a valve problem. Out of the 13 valves needing repair, 9 were repaired Friday. The other 4 will take much more work. Boeing says it will not be ready for astronauts for months, even potentially delaying its first trip until 2022. And in Georgia, the National Park Service is stepping in to prevent a spaceport in Camden County. The agency is worried the chance of an explosive misfire could destroy the federally protected island. The Federal Aviation Agency did an environmental impact study in June, but the National Park Service argues the study did not look at all surrounding areas that could be impacted. The agency will conduct its own impact study, delaying the spaceport until October at the earliest.
Exact Track 4D detects dangerous weather days ahead of time, so you can make the right plans for your family.
6:49 on your Saturday. A lot to talk about this morning in the weather department.
Oh yeah, Danielle Giuliano joins us with the latest. Good morning, Danielle.
About some satellite imagery right now of Fred, which kind of looks unorganized if you take a quick look at it as it makes its way over Cuba, and then it's going to enter here as you head into the weekend back into the southern Gulf of Mexico, and as a result, re-intensify, and that's what we're going to be watching here. The latest track of Fred, though, has continued to push it a little further off to the west. That leaves northeast Florida and southeast Georgia out of the cone of uncertainty. Good news for us, bad news for the northern Gulf Coast. Fred now expected to become a tropical storm within the next 24 hours as it moves over open water once again. Max sustained wind speeds currently at 35 miles per hour, making landfall anywhere around the Florida Alabama border there, even into Mississippi possible as you head into Tuesday and Wednesday. That's what we're going to be watching for those impacts there, anywhere from Pensacola, Panama City, over to Mobile, Alabama, and then even to portions of Biloxi possible there in Mississippi. Now, in terms of the heavy rainfall that's possible with Fred, you could see some showers of outer bands there on the west coast of Florida. Not likely it's going to reach northeast Florida or southeast Georgia. We're not going to see rain from Fred there. That's where you're going to see the heaviest of rainfall. Now, the potential for coastal flooding there as water pushes on shore from Fred there. You could see some higher than normal tides there along the west coast of Florida. Strongest of winds obviously near the center of the storm with Fred, and if it still stays a compact tropical storm, the highest of winds will be over the Gulf as it moves through portions of western Florida, so that's something to note as well. We're also watching now Tropical Storm Grace. Max sustained wind speeds anywhere from 40 miles per hour, so just at that tropical storm level. Looking at the cone of uncertainty heading into Sunday and Monday, moving over portions of Puerto Rico into the Dominican Republic, and then just north of Cuba Wednesday and Thursday. That's where we're going to be watching the track of Grace. If it moves north of Cuba, if it goes right over Cuba, that's going to be a determining factor. Does it make that northeasterly turn, or does it continue to skim southern Florida and move into the Gulf? That's what we're going to be watching for Grace, and that's going to impact us next weekend. That's going to be a big deciding factor. Most of the models keep Grace moving towards portions of Puerto Rico, Dominican Republic, and then splitting right around Cuba. So that's what we're going to be watching there, and that's going to be a huge impact for us heading into the next week or so. Taking a look over the South Bank right now, you can see a beautiful sunrise, but clouds do remain in the area this morning. Calm winds in Jacksonville, 3 miles per hour in St. Augustine, 3 miles per hour in Brunswick, Georgia. 74 in Jacksonville, 72 in Palatka, 79 in St. Augustine. Temperature trend as we head throughout the afternoon. It's still going to be a hot and humid day, 77 degrees by 8 a.m., 80 degrees by 9 a.m., increasing rain chances as we head into this afternoon. Not a complete washout, so you still have a chance to go to the beach if you want. You'll see a mix of sun and clouds, air temperature in the upper 80s, UV index very high, moderate rip current risk out there. Surf, you're looking at anything from 2 to 3 feet along our beaches for today. Live exact track 4D radar, mostly calm, mostly dry conditions for northeast Florida and southeast Georgia as we continue through our morning. But as we head into the afternoon around 12 p.m., still dealing with east-southeasterly flow. As a result, some showers starting to build there and pushing inland throughout the day. Around 4 p.m. here in southeast Georgia, remaining a little bit on the drier side, some coastal showers possible. Most of the heaviest of rainfall is going to be south of the I-10 corridor as you continue through your Saturday afternoon into the evening hours. And just remember, it's not a washout, but rain remains in the forecast, especially as you head into Sunday afternoon around 3 p.m., dealing with some of those sea breeze showers as they continue to push inland there. So more of a normal summertime pattern for us, but rain does stay in the forecast over the next 7-day stretch. Today forecasting that high in the upper 80s, low 90s, showers possible throughout the day. Tomorrow high temperatures in the upper 80s, increasing the cloud cover as we head into this week, and obviously watching the tropics as well over the next 7-day stretch. Remember, you can always get updates on that New Weather Authority app and on the radio. Stick around, we'll be right back.
Back to school, I love it. Rooms to go, I love it.
It's the best back to school ever. Time to get back to friends, back to fun. And Rooms to Go Kids and Teens is ready with a great selection of stylish kids furniture. Pick your perfect room. Celebrate with the back to school sale at Rooms to Go Kids and Teens.
Back to school, I love it. Rooms to go, I love it.
Don't just clean it. Clean it. OxyClean Laundry and Home Sanitizer kills 99.9% of bacteria and viruses. And that feels... OxyClean Laundry and Home Sanitizer also kills the virus that causes COVID-19.
Dude, this thing is awesome. I know. I bought it using the Cash Rewards card from Navy Federal Credit Union. I get cash back on every purchase. Honestly, I can't imagine where I'd be without them. One word. Got it. reeling in fish. No. Eating fish. Fish in the sea?
Movie.
Navy Federal Credit Union. Our members are the mission.
Change the state of driving with a brighter way to explore. Introducing SunPass Pro. Accepted on toll roads in 18 states. Take SunPass Pro on your next adventure with more convenience and more savings. From Florida to Maine and west to Illinois, SunPass Pro can be used wherever EasyPass is accepted. So travel with Pro on your next trip. You've got some exploring to do.
At Farrah & Farrah, it's all about listening.
It was like I had a listening ear. You make everything so simple where you don't have to worry about it. If you need somebody that's there for you 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, choose Farrah & Farrah.
Farrah & Farrah. Here for you. Here for good.
Why is our service department open 7 days a week?
Because we are in the customer service business. The first truck we bought here was called the Price. The other two we call the customer service.
The one thing I've learned coming to Keith Pearson Toyota is you can enjoy buying and servicing your vehicle.
A great experience, a lifetime warranty, 5 years of maintenance. Where else can you get that?
Come to Keith Pearson Toyota
Jacksonville's hometown superstore.
for a reason.
Love this story. A 6-year-old in Milwaukee is on a mission to help his family. Little Jackson is hoping to trade up for a new home.
Right, and he started with a little tiny paper
so
clip.
awesome story.
So cute. I love
this.
this too. Jackson says he recently traded a license plate for an iPod. His mom told him about a story of someone doing it successfully in 2005, and that's when Jackson decided, you know what, maybe he could trade his way up to get his family a new home. You gotta love the ambition there. In 3 days, he has traded up to 2 lawnmowers. Jackson says he also made a deal with his mom for the house.
If I do that, then Mom is gonna buy me a new iPad.
It shows me how caring of a boy he is, and I know that he's going to grow up to be a great man, and that's the most any parent could hope for.
And anything not traded will be donated. Jackson thinks it will take 30 years for him to trade up for his house, but he is taking trades off his Facebook page.
Love it. Well, thank you so much for joining us at 6. The morning show at 7 starts right after the break.
Why buy your next vehicle from us? Only Hanania Subaru of Orange Park offers a nationwide lifetime warranty, 1-year maintenance, and now free lifetime car washes. All these with every new and used car purchase. Now that's value you can't beat. Hanania Subaru of Orange Park.
A short while ago, an injured worker left me a message that said, "You probably won't call me back, I'm just a nobody." Those words stunned me, and I called him right back. Nobody's a nobody, and no one deserves a better firm than you. After my brother Tim's accident, I set out to build an injury firm my own family would hire. And today, as America's largest injury firm, there is no other firm I would hire. All law firms are not the same. There's only one you, there's only one Morgan & Morgan.
Welcome to Toyota's National Sales Event.
Ooh, RAV4.
It's a great time to save on the 2021s while they last.
Ooh, Venza!
Toyota's got an exciting lineup to choose from.
Oh, Highlander, could you?
Oh, sure. You have to understand, it's the National Sales Event.
Right now, during the Toyota National Sales Event, lease a new 2021 Toyota Highlander LE for just $319 a month for 36 months. That's just $319 a month on the Toyota Highlander.
Hey, that's my line.
Toyota, let's go places.
Say you... Carl, what have you done?
Think anyone will notice?
Yes. Yeah.
If you ride, you get it.
Yeah, they will.
Geico Motorcycle. 15 minutes could save you 15% or more.
I have always wanted to do this. This is gonna be awesome! Let's do this!
Babe, what are you doing?
Gonna demo the bathroom. Who are you?
The Bathfitter installer, remember? Bathfitter custom made our new bath to fit perfectly over the old one, so there's no demo or mess.
Impressive. Wait, so no demo? Sorry, man.
Bathfitter will remodel your bath with no messy demolition in as little as 1 day. Call now or visit bathfitter.com for a free in-home consultation.
Forecast, plenty of sunshine through today with seasonal.
Rush hour will never feel the same. Experience thrilling performance from our entire line of vehicles at the Lexus Golden Opportunity Sales Event.
Get special offers on the 2021 RX 350.
Experience amazing at your Lexus dealer.
From hanging out with friends to planning future trips, it's the question everyone is asking. Once you get the COVID-19 vaccine, what can you do safely that you couldn't do before?
Monday at 10 on Channel 4. Live from the local station, the morning show starts now.
Tracking the tropics, Fred is slowly making its way to the Gulf, and this morning, it's not the only storm we're monitoring.
The Weather Authority is tracking both of these systems as they move closer to Florida.
The push to get more people in Duval County vaccinated continues. The events planned this weekend and the new sites opening soon.
Good morning, and thank you so much for joining us. This morning, we're waking up to a new tropical storm that's gathering strength, and it's not Fred.
Tropical Storm Grace formed overnight as Fred is moving across Florida heading west. Let's get straight to meteorologist Danielle Giuliano. She's tracking both of these systems. Good morning, Danielle.
Good morning. Yeah, we're watching Fred and we're also watching newly formed Tropical Storm Grace this morning. The tropics are on fire as we head into peak hurricane season. Fred right now still disorganized. It has to move its way over into the southern Gulf. Once it moves over open water, then it'll have that chance to kind of re-strengthen and organize itself once again. Right now, max sustained wind speeds at only 35 miles per hour, strengthening into a tropical storm once again here within the next 24 hours. And then the cone has moved a little further west with the latest update, away from northeast Florida and southeast Georgia, moving in the northern Gulf Coast. So again, no direct impacts here from tropical depression Fred. We also now have Tropical Storm Grace out in the mid-Atlantic, making its way closer to the Lesser Antilles as we head into the next few hours or so. Max sustained wind speeds with Tropical Storm Grace at 40 miles per hour here, moving west at 22 miles per hour. Model suggesting with Grace it stays at tropical storm strength really as it makes its way over Puerto Rico, Dominican Republic, and then it moves north of Cuba Wednesday into Thursday as it moves in areas of Miami and South Florida. Now, the cone of uncertainty could have it making a northeasterly turn there along the west or east coast of Florida, or staying to the west and moving into the Gulf. That's going to be the big picture and big question with Grace moving forward as we head through this week. Does it make that turn? Does it continue into the Gulf? Does it stay over Cuba and encounter land and mountains which can really tear apart a system? These are the questions we'll be answering here in the coming days with Grace locally, what we can see. Taking a look here at our 4 cameras, Jax Beach looks beautiful, South Ponte Vedra Beach, Neptune Beach, downtown from the sports complex. Yes, we have clouds in the sky, but it is a pretty calm morning here across northeast Florida and across portions of southeast Georgia. Now, as we head throughout the day, it's going to be on the warmer side, temperature trend just a degree or two below average in the upper 80s, low 90s. And we do have rain in the forecast today. Not associated with Fred, but I'll take you through some of those showers coming up in just a few minutes.
Thanks so much, Danielle. And if you haven't already, now is a good time to download the Weather Authority's Hurricane app. It's free for both Apple and Android devices. Be sure to enable push notifications. That way, you'll always stay up to date on any inclement weather heading our way.
COVID-19 cases in Florida continue to surge as the most recent numbers from the Florida Department of Health show a 13% jump in new cases over the last week.
And this is the 8th week in a row showing an increase in new infections and an increase in positivity rate. The report shows more than 151,000 new cases reported this past week. The data equates to an average of more than 21,000 new cases per day for the last week. Deaths from COVID-19 have also increased. 1,071 have been tallied in the latest report. Duval County is showing slight improvement, though. New cases are down from the past 2 weeks, and the positivity rate has decreased as well. As new COVID-19 cases continue to surge, there's a push to get more people in Duval County vaccinated against COVID-19.
Several organizations are working with the First Coast Leadership Foundation this weekend to get more people vaccinated. News4JAX reporter Aaron Farrar joins us live outside Lane Wiley Senior Center this morning. You know, Aaron, this was one of the first locations the state rolled out the COVID-19 vaccine months ago. Now folks will be able to get vaccinated there again soon.
Good morning, Zach and Brianna. And yes, they will. They will be returning here at some point next week. This is going to be one of the new sites, and it's going to open on Wednesday for both testing and vaccines. According to nonprofit organization COVID Act Now, 43% of Duval County is fully vaccinated. 53.5% of people in the county have received at least one dose. And so there are some events lined up this weekend and into next week to get even more needles into arms. There will be 2 events happening today. From 10 o'clock this morning to 2 in the afternoon, Wayman Ministries is offering the vaccine on LaBelle Street. From 10 o'clock to 3 o'clock today, Kappa Alpha Psi Fraternity is hosting an event at this address on Moncrief Road near St. Matthew's Baptist Church. Then tomorrow from noon to 5 p.m., Florida Black Expo is offering vaccination on West Beaver Street. And as I mentioned, where I am now, the Lane Wiley Senior Center, this site is going to open on Wednesday. It's going to be one of 5 new sites opening for either vaccination or testing. We'll have the full details of what to expect at those new sites on our website, news4jax.com. Reporting live, I'm Aaron Farrar, Channel 4, the local station.
A lot of helpful information, Aaron. Thank you. A brand new school year in Columbia County begins in tragedy. A soon-to-be high school senior has died after getting infected with COVID-19. 17-year-old Jokera Graham was a student at Columbia High School. Her mother told News4Jax she was looking forward to her last year of high school and planned to attend the University of Florida to become a surgeon. The family says Graham was not vaccinated, but did take other precautions like wearing a face mask. The school's principal sent out a message on the high school's Facebook page saying, in part, "I ask that everyone keep the family in your thoughts and prayers. Continue to pray for the friends and faculty and staff at CHS." The school said it will honor Graham with a tribute at this year's commencement ceremony.
The pandemic is also taking a toll on schools in South Georgia. Ware County officials are closing all 11 schools after a sharp increase in coronavirus cases. This applies to both digital and in-person students and faculty members. The district says it will stay closed until next month. Officials say while instruction will not take place, extracurricular practices and competitions will continue as scheduled. Ware County Superintendent Bert Smith says the decision was made mostly because of staffing shortages.
Our teachers are having to cover classes and they have to teach their face-to-face students, but at the same time, they have to, address the kids who are quarantined. And there's not enough time in the day.
Only 29% of Ware County has been vaccinated against the virus, and only 15% of those between the ages of 15 and 19 have received both shots. In just a few hours, family and friends in the college football world will honor the life and impact of former FSU head coach football Bobby Bowden. He died last Sunday after a bout with pancreatic cancer.
Bowden is largely responsible for putting FSU's football program on the map. News4Jax sports reporter Jamal St. Cyr is in Tallahassee right now. He spoke with several FSU fans and alumni about the impact Coach Bowden left on them.
Many will remember Bobby Bowden for the wins and championships that he brought to Florida State during his 35 years of coaching. But as people lined up Friday to say goodbye to Coach Bowden, they said his true legacy is the impact he had on the people off the football field.
He was a great man that truly was honorable, with great character and integrity in every aspect.
I grew up as a Seminole fan, and actually the only reason I went to college is because I loved Florida State and loved Bobby Bowden. So if it wasn't for Bobby Bowden and what he built here, I don't know if I would have ever gone to college and what I would have done.
You know, people always want to talk about how many wins he had and this and that. Coach Bowden he talked about the people, and that's what mattered to him.
It was that impact off the field that brought out hundreds of people all wanting to pay their last respects to the legendary football coach. As his hearse pulled up to the Florida State Capitol building this morning, fans already waiting to get inside just to get that last look at Coach Bowden. And then here on the campus of Florida State University at the Moore Athletic Center, fans were lined up here starting at 10 a.m. and the doors didn't open till 2 p.m., sitting through heat as they waited to get that last goodbye to Coach Bowden.
He meant a lot to my husband. My husband grew up here. That was the one thing he had, was football, that kind of got him away from different things, and it just meant so much to him to be able to use football and Bobby Bowden as a release and something special in his life. So it's very important to be here on this day.
In Tallahassee, Jamal Saints here for Channel 4, the local station.
A celebration of life will be held today at the Donald L. Tucker Civic Center on FSU's campus beginning at 11 a.m. Be sure to stay tuned to the rest of the morning show. Jamal will join us live from Tallahassee starting at 8 o'clock before doors open for Coach Bowden's service.
And Governor DeSantis is also paying tribute to the late coach by lighting the Capitol building in FSU colors. He tweeted this photo saying, to further honor the legacy of Bobby Bowden, Florida's historic Capitol will light up garnet and gold tonight and tomorrow. Well, hold on to your vaccination card. A growing number of cities are requiring people to show proof they've received their shots.
And coming up, why you also might want to consider getting the shot if you're searching for a job. And a gambling deal between the state of Florida and the Seminole Tribe is expected to bring the state millions of dollars.
But after the break, we'll tell you why some casino officials are claiming the deal is against state law. And another look at tropical depression Fred. The Weather Authority is hard at work bringing us the latest information. Meteorologist Danielle Giuliano will join us after the break to give us the latest update. 7:10 on your Saturday. You're watching the morning show on the local station.
When it comes to keeping you informed, the sky is the limit.
A live look from our tower cam.
News 4 Jax, empowering you with a county-by-county network of 15 aerial cameras, showing you this.
Traffic in both directions.
So you can avoid seeing this. Built for the elements. So you can see threats from miles away. A window to the world on all your screens. The News 4 Jax Skycam Network.
Imagine a salad made with fresh-cut vegetables and warm hand-breaded chicken. Does that even exist? Not yet, because we don't make it until you order it. Try the new Southwest Salad, only at Zaxby's. Redeem rewards, scan to pay, order ahead on the Zaxby's app.
Slip and fall? Just call PEMDAS. Offices, Jacksonville.
It takes lots of innovation to keep costs down. Mega amounts, like making our state-of-the-art natural gas plants ultra-efficient, which, by the way, has saved all of us billions of dollars. Tons of ideas, countless innovation, always keeping an eye out for savings.
With Sharp's one-day floor coatings, you can upgrade your pool deck, garage, patio, or driveway.
Most of our jobs only take 1 day to install, but last a lifetime. Unlike typical epoxy paint, our coatings are 6 times stronger and physically bond to your concrete, giving you a durable surface that lasts.
Take your concrete to the next level with a durable, stylish coating that is sure to impress. Book soon to enjoy $300 off your project. Call now, 904-519-5055.
Floridians are fighting back.
We are coming together to do our part.
Getting a vaccine can protect not only you, but your loved ones too.
It's easy, it's safe, and it's effective.
It doesn't matter where you live
or what you do for a living.
If you are eligible to receive a vaccine, there's a vaccine available for you.
As we get back to normal,
let's do this together.
Think premium can't be capable? Think again. Introducing the first ever AT4 lineup. Premium and capable. That's professional grade from GMC. Or get 0% financing for 72 months on most 2021 GMC Terrain models. Plus, current eligible GMC owners get an additional $250 purchase allowance.
You know that fresh made-to-order salad you've been craving? What if you could get it with fire-roasted corn, crispy tortilla strips, and Southwest ranch dressing? That's what we call the Southwest Salad. It's brand new, and it's only at Zaxby's. Order on your favorite delivery app.
An update on casinos and gaming in Florida. Early morning there, the Department of Interior has allowed the gaming compact between the state and Seminole Tribe to go into effect.
Yeah, but as Mike Vasalinda tells us, there's already a lawsuit to stop it.
Right.
The Seminole Gaming Compact was signed in April,
This is the agreement.
approved by lawmakers in May,
97 yeas, 17 nays, Mr. Speaker.
and allowed to go into effect by the Department of Interior when the 45-day review period expired without a comment.
We plan to do what it takes to make sure this is in front of the courts, both at the federal level and the state level.
No Casinos, Inc. is now readying a lawsuit to stop the compact.
Compact that's been approved violates at least 3 federal laws: the Indian Gaming Regulatory Act, the Online Gaming Act, as well as the Federal Wire Act.
The compact allows for sports betting starting October 15th, as well as craps and roulette, none of which are currently legal in Florida. Because of that, No Casinos believes that only voters can approve more gaming.
Amendment 3 is under assault, an amendment that 72% of the people of Florida voted for is being ignored.
But the governor and tribe are hanging their hopes on Section 3 of the amendment passed by voters in 2018.
Yeah, I think it satisfies Amendment 3.
But No Casinos disagrees.
And the legislature does not have the authority to duly authorize sports betting, craps, roulette, any other form of casino gambling unless the voters of Florida approve it.
Florida voters have turned down casino gambling in 1978, 86, and 94. They only narrowly approved slot machines in 2004, but only for South Florida. Reporting from the state capitol, Mike Vassalinda, Channel 4, the local station.
The group No Casinos contends the Indian Regulatory Gaming Act only allows gaming already legal in a state to take place on tribal lands. A judge is likely to have the final say.
Exact Track 4D, the Weather Authority's secret weapon against severe storms. The most cutting-edge weather technology in Northeast Florida and South Georgia.
All right, taking a look at weather now. Meteorologist Danielle Giuliano joining us now. Danielle, we have some storms heading our way, right?
Yeah, we're watching the tropics very closely. We have Tropical Depression Fred right now very unorganized. That'll change over the next 12 hours or so. And then we also have newly formed Tropical Storm Grace. So here we're looking at Fred. You can see very unorganized, no center of circulation present. But that'll change as it moves over into the southern Gulf as you head into the next 12 hours or so, expecting it to re-strengthen into a tropical storm as you head into Sunday morning. And then with the far western track is being pushed to now, making its way into portions of the northern Gulf Coast, Pensacola, Mobile, Alabama, even into Biloxi, Mississippi. Winds right now sustained at 35 miles per hour. Big picture, it has moved away from northeast Florida and southeast Georgia at this current time. The heaviest of rainfall will be over the open Gulf, some outer bands reaching areas of the Florida Peninsula here, but then the heaviest of rainfall right along the Florida Panhandle on the east side of the storm. Now in terms of rip currents, Florida will see those higher rip currents as we head into the weekend. Right now, moderate rip current risk for those of us in northeast Florida and southeast Georgia currently for today. Tropical Storm Grace had formed overnight into early this morning. Max sustained wind speeds right now at 40 miles per hour. You can see as Grace continues to move into Sunday, even into Monday, moving over portions of Puerto Rico, the Dominican Republic. And then the big picture will be where Grace goes after the Dominican Republic. Does it go north of Cuba, south of Cuba, right over Cuba? That's what we're going to be watching here with the latest track updates over the next few days, because that is going to be a determining factor if Grace makes that northeasterly turn and moves up the east coast of Florida, or if Grace continues to slide through portions of Florida, Cuba, and then move into the Gulf there, or south of Cuba, you can see with some of these models here. So let's take a look at this. This is our Barron 3K model. Going forward here, you head into 6 a.m. Monday. Notice Grace moving over portions of Puerto Rico, then the Dominican Republic there, still with some heavy rainfall in those areas. And then it's making its way just north of the Cuban area. You can see this little troughing feature, this little wave feature over Cuba right now. Not making its way to the northeast just yet. This is at Wednesday at 8 p.m. But notice it doesn't do anything. It just keeps moving here. You can see that tropical wave still into the Gulf there. So this model doesn't have it making that northeasterly turn, but some of them do. So that's what we're going to be watching with Grace here very carefully going forward over the next few days. Still a lot of uncertainty as you head into midweek, into next weekend, because there could be the potential that we could have a wet weather weekend if Grace does make its way up the East Coast. Here's a look from the North Bank right now. Beautiful out there, but still dealing with the cloud cover this morning. Calm winds in Jacksonville, 5 miles per hour in St. Augustine, 3 miles per hour in Brunswick. 75 degrees in Jacksonville, 78 in St. Augustine right now, 72 in Palatka, and 78 degrees in Brunswick. 77 by 8 a.m., by 10 a.m., 85 degrees by 12 p.m., 89 degrees, and that's where we're going to increase our rain chances through the afternoon into the evening hours for today. Like I mentioned, our rip current risk right now sitting at a moderate risk along our beaches. So if you're looking at anything from 2 to 3 feet as you head throughout for today along our coastline there. So taking a look at live exact track 4D radar right now, there are some very isolated spotty showers here. You're looking down in St. Johns County areas of Ponte Vedra and just south of Nocatee, just north of St. Augustine. There's some spotty showers offshore, and those are going to continue to push inland. But other than that, most of us are on the drier side as we make our way through this morning. In fact, as we go ahead and take you hour by hour, we head into 12 p.m. Some of those showers continue to move onshore, mainly south of the I-10 corridor, southeast Georgia, on the drier side throughout the morning into the afternoon. Around 4 p.m., heaviest of rainfall still south of the I-10 corridor, and then we start to dry things out 8, 9 o'clock. So those of you south of I-10, that's where you're going to see majority of the rainfall for today. Tomorrow morning, starting off on the drier side, once again, south-southeasterly flow, pushing those showers inland as you head into the 2 or 3 o'clock time frame as you head into the afternoon for your Sunday as well. But rain does stay in the forecast over the next 7-day stretch. And of course, we're keeping a very close eye on the tropics as you head into midweek into next weekend. Today, forecasting that high around 90 degrees. Rain stays in the forecast. Temperatures anywhere around our seasonal average or a degree or two below our seasonal average as we head through this week, because we're increasing the rain chances and we're also going to increase the cloud cover. Remember, you can always get updates on the new Weather Authority app and on the radio, WQIK 99.1.
Danielle, thank you. The first week of classes for a New Mexico middle school is off to a deadly start.
One student is dead and another is in custody after a shooting. In just a few minutes, why law enforcement is saying they can't fight gun violence alone.
And a live pic from Jacksonville Beach. Look at those clouds, Danielle.
Ooh, a little cloudy out there. Not looking like the nice sunshine Florida we're used to.
I know. We'll be checking in with Danielle Giuliano for a complete look at our forecast in just a few minutes. 7:21 on your Saturday. You're watching the morning show on the local station.
Local stories from your neighborhood, worth watching every day.
This weather update is sponsored by Precision Garage Door. Make the right decision. Call Precision.
Toyota's national sales event is going on now at Ernie Palmer Toyota. Ernie Palmer is loaded with fresh inventory, with truckloads of new Toyotas arriving daily. Plus, our goal, 100% credit approval. Ernie Palmer Toyota, ErniePalmerToyota.com.
After an injury, you may be thinking, we'll all just pass. But that pain can last for a lifetime. And a lifetime is a long time. Taking a piece of your health forever is a very big deal. Don't wait. Your time to bring a case is limited. All law firms are not the same.
With Week for Life scratch-offs, you can win up to $5,000 a week every week for as long as you live. Yeah! Experience lifelong excitement with Week for Life scratch-offs from the Florida Lottery. It's your ticket.
Claim it! Okay, listen up. Selling our place, buying this place. Thoughts? Negative me.
No.
Shouldn't have started with you. Spontaneous me.
Already ordering drapes.
Antisocial me. Lazy me. We gotta sell our place, sort out finances. Stressed me. Does anybody have anything helpful me? We don't need to stress about lining it all up. Zillow can help with that. And that's why you're my favorite me. 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 And me.
Me. Me. Me. Oh, yeah.
It's time for the Rooms to Go Kids Back to School sale. Change your kids' room with beds big on style and function. Starting at $277. Save big on bunks and lofts with built-in desks. Choose awesome beds for just $577. Bookcase beds with great storage at low sale prices. Buy a room, get a bonus desk for $129. Save on the perfect chill space, workspace, or fun space at the Rooms to Go Kids Back to School sale.
Does your vitamin C last 24 hours? Only Nature's Bounty does. New Immune 24 Hour Plus has longer lasting vitamin C, plus herbal and other immune superstars. Only from Nature's Bounty.
It's back to school. Are you 2 projects due the same day ready? Create the next big thing ready? Get your entire list for less ready? Shop your local Staples and be more than ready for back to school.
Toyota's national sales event is going on now at Ernie Palmer Toyota. Looking for a used car? Shop a great selection of barely driven, one-owner trade-ins, lease returns, and service loaners. Plus, get top dollar for your trade. Ernie Palmer Toyota. ErniePalmerToyota.com.
If you're on the job hunt, you might have noticed a new requirement on some listings. More companies are mandating vaccines for employees. According to Indeed, job postings with the COVID-19 vaccine required went up 34% in the first week of August. Even with a recent spike, the majority of job listings with that requirement are still very small.
Parents, check your bank accounts because the second round of the child tax credit dropped yesterday. The Treasury Department says this month's payment went to families of around 61 million kids, more than 1.5 million more kids than the last payment. The direct payments this round total more than $15 billion. According to a recent study, the payments are already reducing child poverty rates. All right, some good news for some South Park fans. Exciting news. If all goes according to plan, South Park creators Matt Stone and Trey Parker will own a famous tourist restaurant in Colorado called Casa Bonita.
Yeah, well, back in 2003, the show featured the restaurant in one of its popular episodes. It opened in 1973, but unfortunately had to close in 2020 because of the pandemic. Casa Bonita reached peak popularity when the South Park characters went to the restaurant for a birthday party. But even with the fame, it was not enough to keep the owners safe from bankruptcy. So the show's creators, Matt Stone and Trey Parker, took things into their own hands.
As of about an hour ago, so I have to qualify this, pending bankruptcy proceedings that still have to happen in a couple of months. We've come to an agreement with the owner, and we bought it.
How cool is that? Local Casa Bonita fans hope the show's creators, are able to revamp the restaurant and bring tourists back to their town. Parker and Stone will not become official owners of the property until bankruptcy proceedings and the purchase are finalized, and that could take a few months.
Yeah, that's pretty cool, though. Are you a big South Park fan?
No, I watched South Park and I've enjoyed several episodes, but to watch it regularly, no. How about you?
Yeah, me either, but I would go to that restaurant because I think that's so awesome. And I think that's really sweet that they helped them out of bankruptcy.
It's really neat to see, this is not the first time this has happened to a famed, location that's used in a movie or even a show. So it's really awesome to see, folks who incorporate that into their art, go back and try to salvage what they can.
Yeah, that's awesome. Definitely got to
really
check
cool.
that out. Now I got to rewatch South Park to see where this restaurant is because I think that's pretty cool.
Okay, well, we're going to talk about murder hornets.
Yeah.
They're back. For the first time this year, scientists in one state out west have found one of these scary hornets.
Yeah, and ahead where these nasty insects are turning up. Plus, daily reportings of coronavirus cases in the Sunshine State may be a possibility again.
Ahead, why Governor DeSantis says this will be beneficial to local communities. And when we come back, we'll check in on Fred heading toward the Keys.
And Danielle has more about Fred's little sister following behind him next.
News 4 Jax, worth watching every day.
Beach Boulevard Automotive has hundreds of vehicles priced below $10,000. We put hundreds of happy new drivers on the road every month.
It's back to school. Are you two projects due the same day ready? Create the next big thing ready? Get your entire list for less ready? Shop your local Staples and be more than ready for back to school.
In the midst of hate, I found there was within me an invincible smile. In the midst of life, be the reason someone smiles today.
Busted? Original Gorilla Glue, of course. Works indoor, works outdoor. It's weatherproof, it's waterproof. It's versatile and incredibly strong for the toughest jobs on planet Earth.
When it comes to replacing or repairing your roof, you want quality workmanship and the nation's best warranty to cover you from the sun and storms of Central Florida. Universal Roofing Contracting has a Platinum Preferred Contractor certification, so you know that the job will be done right the first time. At Universal Roofing Contracting, we provide peace of mind so you can feel confident that your forever home has a forever roof. Visit us online at universalroof.com or call today for a free roof inspection.
The great thing about Stainmaster carpet is...
I love you so much. Oh, I love you.
Well, the great thing about Stainmaster carpet is it's really durable and it's really soft.
Oh, I love you.
I guess we'll take it.
You'll love your carpet too if you come see the Carpet Man, where you can get long-lasting and soft Stainmaster carpet for 99 cents per square foot. The first step to a beautiful home is a visit to the Carpet Man. Stop by or visit carpetman.biz.
Beach Boulevard Automotive, the best in selection, the best in financing, the best in service. Stop in today for your new ride.
The woman who married her half-brother's accused killer.
Not your typical relationship.
After serving 32 years in prison, he got a new trial, and they got married. Next Inside Edition.
Monday at 7:30 on Channel 4, the local station. Live from the local station, the morning show starts now.
After a quiet month, the tropics are firing back up as two systems are now spinning. The Weather Authority has been monitoring Fred, and people in South Florida are making preparations just in case.
Broward County has set up several sandbagging locations hoping to minimize flooding impacts. Residents were there all day long yesterday, stocking up on bags and other essential items.
It's 7:30. We're going to toss things over to meteorologist Danielle Giuliano. Danielle has been tracking Fred's predicted path and now a second tropical storm taking shape. Good morning, Danielle.
Good morning. Yeah, we've been keeping a close eye on Fred as it makes its way over Cuba into the southern Gulf of Mexico. You can see some of those outer bands reaching portions of South Florida as we continue through this morning into this afternoon. Now, the latest updated track with Fred does push it a little further to the west, which is good news for us across northeast Florida and southeast Georgia. Right now, max sustained wind speeds at only 35 miles per hour, moving slowly west-northwest at 13 miles per hour. Forecast to become a tropical storm once again as it heads into the next 12 hours or so before making landfall anywhere here in the Florida Panhandle and then into portions of Alabama and even into Mississippi. So really from Pensacola all the way to Biloxi, that's where we're going to be watching for the impacts of Fred. So again, away from northeast Florida and southeast Georgia. Then we're watching now Tropical Storm Grace, a bit more organized as it continues to move closer to the Lesser Antilles here over the next 12 hours or so. Right now, max sustained wind speeds at 40 miles per hour, moving it, really booking it west at 22 miles per hour. You can see as Grace moves over portions of the Dominican Republic, Puerto Rico, and then the track has moving just north of the area of Cuba. Now, if it doesn't go over Cuba, again, it won't interact with those mountains, so it'll stay a little bit on the stronger side. If it moves a little further south, it moves over Cuba, it could impact those mountains, and that could detensify, or it should decrease the strength of the storm of Grace as it continues to move through. Long story short, those of you in South Florida and even the east and west coast are watching Grace very closely in the coming days, because if we go ahead and look at the model data and track, it makes its way pretty much over areas of Puerto Rico and Dominican Republic. But once it makes its way to Cuba, that's what we kind of see the models start to split. Some of them have it tracking up the east coast of Florida. That would be our main impact as we head into next weekend. Some of them have it tracking south of Florida into the northern or southern Gulf of Mexico. That would be the best case scenario for us because it leaves us out of the cone of uncertainty. But again, that is still about 5 days out. We're going to be watching Grace very closely in the coming days. Here's a look over downtown right now. You can see a beautiful sunrise, but we are still seeing clouds in the area, and temperature trend as we head through the afternoon will climb into the upper 80s, low 90s, but also increasing those rain chances as we head into the afternoon. I'll take you through the timing of some of those showers coming up here in just a few minutes.
Danielle, thank you. If you haven't already downloaded the Weather Authority's Hurricane app, now would be a great time to do so. It's free for both Apple and Android devices. Be sure to enable push notifications. This way you'll always stay up to date on any inclement weather heading your way. We are less than a week into a new school year, and a middle school in Albuquerque, New Mexico is already reeling from a deadly shooting. Law enforcement officers say the incident happened between two students. Both are believed to be around 13 years old.
Yeah, and one of the students is dead and the other is in custody. Police say the shooting happened during the school's lunch hour on Friday. Investigators are still trying to figure out what led up to the shooting. But once gunfire rang out, a resource officer confronted the two students and prevented further violence. Law enforcement is asking the community to come together during this tragedy.
It takes not only police, but the community as well to
to do something about this problem and address it head on. We have a great set of detectives from our homicide unit that are going to investigate all these crimes. We have full confidence in them. But right now, this is a community issue. It's not just a police issue. We all have to work together for this.
The middle school where the shooting happened will be closed Monday, and counselors will be available for students when they return to class.
Police are investigating after a 21-year-old mother was killed after her toddler accidentally shot her in the head. The incident happened in an Altamonte Springs apartment while Shamaya Lynn was on a video call for work. Investigators say one of Lynn's coworkers, who was also dialed into that meeting, called 911 after hearing a noise and seeing her fall backwards. Police say the child found the loaded handgun in the apartment and that it belonged to the father. Officials are urging all gun owners to keep best practices when storing firearms.
To anyone and everyone tuning into this story, if you own a firearm, please keep it locked and secured. Incidents like this could be avoided.
Right now, the child is being cared for by other relatives. It's unclear if the father will face any charges.
Since July 1st, there has been a 700% increase in the weekly average of coronavirus infections in the U.S. The CDC released this information during a discussion about booster shots for those with weakened immune systems. The U.S. hit a low point with new cases in late June, averaging about 10,000 infections per day. Right now, health officials say the average is closer to 125,000 per day. The CDC says fully vaccinated people can still spread the Delta variant, but they're infectious for a shorter period of time than those who are unvaccinated. More places across the U.S. announced plans requiring people to show proof they've been vaccinated against COVID-19 to teach school, work at a hospital, see a concert, or even eat inside of a restaurant. Starting next week, New York City, New Orleans, and San Francisco will start imposing these rules. City officials in Los Angeles say they're looking into the idea. Chicago schools districts announced it will require all teachers and other employees to be fully vaccinated by mid-October unless they qualify for medical or religious exemptions.
As Florida continues seeing a surge of cases caused by the Delta variant, Governor DeSantis spoke about possibly reverting back to daily reporting of COVID-19 data. On Thursday, the governor suggested it might not be a bad idea to start the daily reports again. He claims this will give counties a better look at how their community is faring in the pandemic, but it is still unclear when or if daily reports will make a return. The Broward County Teachers Union is mourning the death of 3 educators, including a teacher and a teacher's aide from Dillard Elementary and another teacher from Pinewood Elementary. All died from COVID-19. None of these individuals were vaccinated. Additionally, the union mentioned a community member involved in education also died from the virus around the same time.
Murder hornets spotted last year attacking insects may be making a return to the U.S. after officials confirm a sighting. Floridians, though, have nothing to worry about so far. The hornet was found in Washington state, so we're still good for now. In June, officials found a dead hornet in Seattle. Last year, scientists knocked down a nest they found with multiple Asian giant hornets inside. Asian giant hornets are an invasive species and pose a risk to native insects in the area. Well, school may have started back this week, but it's still not too late to get some school supplies.
No, not at all. In just a few moments, an event happening today giving out supplies and other essential items for free. And the deadline to sign up for the Affordable Care Act is quickly approaching.
After the break, we'll tell you how you can register. And another look at Fred. The Weather Authority is busy tracking this weekend's storms and tropics. Danielle Giuliano gives us another look at the storm in just a few minutes.
News 4 Jax, worth watching every day. Here's this week's All-Star Athlete.
Sanaya Young from Edward H. White Senior High. So this has been an awesome year for you, I'm sure. Cheerleading, volleyball, flag football, and you got to be team captain on a couple of those. Tell me about your experience. What have you really enjoyed about your athletic career this year?
I enjoyed the bonds that I made, the team that I was on. It was amazing. We had so much fun playing. We ended up being champions. We won games. We did lose a couple of games, but we ended up having fun overall. So the bond was definitely the best part of my athletic experience.
What's the hardest part about being a leader of teams? Because that's not easy, right?
Yes, the hardest part is sometimes people don't like your criticism or when you're trying to help them because it's like you're bullying them or being rude in some way, but it's just giving your personal opinion on what the team could be better.
Walk me through some of your favorite things outside the classroom, what you've done in giving back or participating in school activities that would show your spirit. One in particular I'm thinking of is maybe the Miss Ed White part of what you experienced.
Yes, I am considered Miss Ed White, first runner-up and sweetheart. I do have that role and title. For my community service outside the school, I did before COVID. I was working at Benson House of Oakleaf, helping the elderly residents, like passing out food, playing bingo, doing puzzles, and just simply talking. But within my community, like during the school time, I was doing food drives, hosting for different events such as the Lupus Walk. I was the head chairman, and we also did care packages for the homeless.
You got a lot of school spirit, you got a lot of heart, you got a lot in front of you, and we're so excited at Channel 4 to let everybody know about you. You are the All-Star Athlete of the Week. Congratulations.
Thank you so much, and thank you for picking me.
Cracks in your brick, cracks in your walls? You could have a settling foundation. When the integrity of your home is in jeopardy, call a specialist. Call Ramjack. Engineered repairs and affordable solutions. Ramjack, the foundation repair experts. Evaluations are free.
Expertly tailored eye care. State-of-the-art eye exams. High-quality lenses and frames. Because everything we do at LensCrafters is for every sight that makes your life special. Book your annual eye exam now. LensCrafters. Because sight.
It's the Flooring America sales event at our brand new 9,000 square foot showroom. Hardwood, luxury vinyl, tile, carpet, laminate, and much more. All at Flooring America's affordable prices. Don't feel like leaving the house? Our mobile unit will bring the showroom to you with access to our extensive selection of the finest flooring available and free estimates. For deals and coupons, visit flooringamerica.me or stop by our brand new showroom off San Jose Boulevard. Flooring America, where friends send friends.
At Fast Fix Jewelry and Watch Repairs, we get a lot of questions.
Can you size my ring?
Change my watch better?
Can you engrave us?
Today?
Yes. For more than 30 years, Fast Fix has provided on-site jewelry and watch repair services, often while you wait. But we also do so much more. Create something truly unique with our custom jewelry design. Also, our skilled craftsmen can engrave just about anything. With all these services, it might be better to ask what we don't do. Fast Fix, Avenues and St. John's Town Center.
Back to school is right around the corner, and so are great prices at Osborne Orthodontics. The $139 a month braces special is back just for you, Jacksonville. Take advantage of this limited time offer while it lasts. At Osborne Orthodontics, we believe that a great smile should not punish your wallet, so $139 a month should keep you smiling comfortably. Give us a call today at 745-4555 to make an appointment at our Northside or Arlington Southside location. $139 a month braces is definitely something to smile about.
Why is our service department open 7 days a week?
Because we are in the customer service business.
The first truck we bought here was called the Price. The other two we called the customer service.
The one thing I've learned coming to Keith Pearson Toyota is you can enjoy buying and servicing your vehicle.
A great experience, a lifetime warranty, 5 years of maintenance. Where else can you get that?
Come to Keith Pearson Toyota,
Jacksonville's hometown superstore.
For a reason.
Ramjack understands foundation damage is an unexpected and unwelcome problem. Trust your home to a company with a 40-year track record and a lifetime of stability. Don't do it twice. Do it right. Rely on Ramjack.
If you need health insurance, the deadline is tomorrow to sign up through the Affordable Care Act.
Florida Blue estimates around 85,000 people are still uninsured in the Jacksonville area. News 4 Jax reporter Vic Michelucci explains how you can sign up this weekend.
$73,000. That's the average medical bill if you get COVID-19 and have to go to the hospital. That can be devastating if you don't have insurance. And that's why right now health experts say the time is now to make sure you and your family members are insured.
I think it's wonderful.
Lynette Jones-Turpin is adjusting her plan today, trying to save more money on her ACA insurance, which she has had since the beginning.
Well, anything can happen. So, you could step on something, break your leg, anything can happen. So, but when you're insured, you have that comfortability knowing that you can go to the doctor and you can go to the hospital without any problems.
She's visiting Florida Blue at the River City Marketplace, where staff is stressing the importance of having coverage. They're working extra hours here at the St. John's Town Center and the Riverside YMCA to sign people up. What's your biggest fear about someone being uninsured right now?
Oh gosh, the cost of health care is just rising and rising, and I'm concerned about people not being insured, maybe getting COVID.
There are other companies offering the low-cost, government-subsidized insurance as well. Many options for coverage, but the same deadline, Sunday. There are going to be people who say, I don't think I can afford insurance.
I have to beg to differ. If individuals in 2021 file for unemployment, it's a good chance that they can be eligible for a zero monthly premium.
Maybe you're not comfortable to leave your home right now. Well, you still have options. You can do this virtually, either by phone or on the computer. We've posted the numbers to call on our website, news4jax.com. You can also go right now to healthcare.gov. On the north side, I'm Vic Michelucci, Channel 4, the local station.
The Weather Authority and ExactTrack 4D, cutting-edge technology, giving you the most accurate forecast down to your street.
7:45 on your Saturday. The Weather Authority is tracking not one, but two systems. Meteorologist Danielle Giuliano has been very busy this morning.
Oh, yeah, very busy. Danielle, tell us what's going on.
Yeah, not one, like you said, but two tropical systems we're watching right now. We're taking a look right now, the satellite imagery showing Fred very unorganized as it makes its way over Cuba, but forecasted to make its way into the southern Gulf of Mexico here within the next 12 hours, and then organize and re-intensify back into a tropical storm. Right now, Fred is a tropical depression with the latest update. Still, the latest track keeps it further to our west, leaving northeast Florida and southeast Georgia outside of the cone of uncertainty. Max sustained wind speeds only at 35 miles per hour. Now, for the impacts that Florida can feel from Fred, the potential for heavy rainfall, obviously a little closer to the center of the storm and on the eastern side of the storm, which as it continues to move off to the west-northwest here, areas from Tallahassee down the west coast of Florida could feel some of those far outer bands of Fred. Winds a little closer to the center of the storm, so it's unlikely that you'll see high winds along the west coast of Florida. It'll be over the Gulf of Mexico before it makes landfall along the northern Gulf Coast. Now, in terms of storm surge, you could see some higher surge, especially during high tide along the west coast of Florida and definitely along the Florida Panhandle moving forward. Now, taking a look at Grace, now tropical storm Grace, a bit more organized here as it continues to move closer to the Lesser Antilles. Right now, max sustained wind speeds at 40 miles per hour. Cone keeps it moving over Monday, Tuesday areas of Dominican Republic, Puerto Rico, and then a little further north of Cuba as you head into Wednesday and Thursday. That's where we're going to be watching Grace very closely. Does it take that northeasterly track and that would impact us as we head into next weekend, or does it slide on past southern Florida and move into the Gulf? Those are going to be the big questions we'll be watching here with Grace. Some of the models, they kind of split, especially when they come to Cuba. They're pretty much in agreement as they move through areas of Puerto Rico and the Dominican Republic, and then they split as they head towards Cuba. Northeast coast of Florida possible, south of Florida into the Gulf, or even south of Cuba. So as we head into midweek this week, that's what we're going to be watching Grace very closely. This is our Barron 3K model. If we watch this as we head into Monday, notice it moving over areas of Puerto Rico into the Dominican Republic. As you head into 6 a.m. on Monday, they're bringing some heavy rainfall. But as it moves into portions of Cuba, you can see here that it looks like a tropical wave kind of starts to be unorganized and not necessarily making that northeasterly turn with this model. It keeps it moving into the Gulf. So again, we're going to be watching this system very closely. Still a lot of uncertainty with the different models going forward where Grace will end up by midweek into next weekend. Live look over downtown. You can see a little bit of cloud cover out there this morning. Not exactly the blue sunny skies, but you will see a mix of sunshine as you head through this afternoon. So winds right now on the calmer side, anywhere from calm winds to around 3 miles per hour. 75 degrees in Jacksonville, 78 in Brunswick, 79 degrees in St. Augustine. Temperature trend through the afternoon by 10 a.m., 85 degrees, by 12 p.m., 89 degrees, and then increasing our rain chances as you head into lunchtime through dinner time. So 89 degrees. If you're heading to the beach today, rip current risk will be moderate. UV index will be very high, so wear the sunscreen. Don't let the clouds fool you. Surf, you're looking at anything from 2 to 3 feet. Now on live Exact Track 4D radar, we do have some showers moving through in areas of Nocatee, Palm Valley area, South Ponte Vedra Beach, just north of St. Augustine. Across I-95, you're seeing some of those light showers there. Those of you south of St. Augustine and even into Palm Coast there. And Flagler Beach, we're seeing some showers make their way through across I-95 and even a little further south of Flagler Beach, closer to the Ormond Beach area. So we are watching those showers start to make their way in. If you're in Duval County and north of that, you're mainly on the drier side so far this morning. Hour by hour model continues to see those showers move through as we head into the late morning into the afternoon. As you head into 4 p.m., most of the shower activity south of the I-10 corridor. You head into 8 p.m., we start to dry things out ever so slightly overnight. And then tomorrow's going to be a little bit drier. Starting off the morning on the drier side with a bit of cloud cover, and then through the afternoon, 2, 3 o'clock, some isolated showers pushing on through with the sea breeze before we start to dry things out overnight before more rain returns on Monday. And that really kickstarts a wet weather week for us as we head through the next 7-day stretch. So today, forecasting that high around 90 degrees. 7-day forecast keeps us hot, humid, close to our seasonal average, maybe a degree or two below that in the upper 80s, but daily rain chances really sticking with us through today into next Friday. And then we'll be watching those tropics obviously by midweek. Remember, you can always get updates on the New Weather Authority app and on the radio, 93.3 The Beat.
The Morning Show on Channel 4, #1, 9 straight years and counting.
By doing journalism that puts you first.
Getting answers to what's important to you today.
Late-breaking updates as we work to get back to normal.
Information to help keep your family safe.
Alerting you to scams and rip-offs. Time Saver Traffic gets you there on time.
Watching and tracking changes in the weather with Exact Track 4D.
The Morning Show on Channel 4 makes mornings happen.
Toyota's national sales event is going on now at Ernie Palmer Toyota. Looking for a used car? Shop a great selection of barely driven, one-owner trade-ins, lease returns, and service loaners. Plus, get top dollar for your trade. Ernie Palmer Toyota. ErniePalmerToyota.com.
I stopped in traffic due to an accident up ahead. Out of nowhere, a car hit me going approximately 75 miles an hour. The insurance company gave me a complete lowball offer. It's been a godsend to have Morgan & Morgan help walk me through the process. Morgan & Morgan presented my case so well that the insurance company came to my attorneys and offered a substantial settlement. There was a weight lifted off my shoulder. Thank you, Morgan & Morgan, for willing to help when I thought there was no help out there.
We weren't happy with our bathtub.
But we didn't want the headaches of demolition.
Or the days without our bathroom. Then a friend told us about Bath Fitter and their unique tub-over-tub process. There's no demolition, and they install in as little as a day. They also have a seamless wall for a watertight fit. And Bath Fitter has a lifetime guarantee. What a difference. Finally, a bathtub I love.
This is the one. Let's sell.
Gotcha. Home selling with OfferPad is as easy as...
Welcome to OfferPad. How can we help?
We want to sell our home to buy this one.
Cool. Sell to buy. Yep. Sell Express. Cash offer in 24 hours and a free move. We let you choose your closing date. We're ready. Close in 14 days. Okay, we're moving fast. Let's do this. Go team!
Any way you want to sell, you're sold with OfferPad. Start your free sales request at OfferPad.com today.
Now's your best time to buy Toyota certifieds at Ernie Palmer Toyota. Ernie Palmer Toyota has a large selection of certified Toyotas priced to sell. Every Toyota certified is backed with a 7-year, 100,000-mile warranty, roadside assistance, and more. Ernie Palmer Toyota.
Happening today, Florida Health, Putnam County, Liberty Dental Plan of Florida, and First Baptist Church of Interlaken have teamed up for a back-to-school bash. It's happening today from 10 a.m. until 1 p.m. for all elementary students and their families. The address is on your screen. The event is free and includes dental assessments, fluoride varnish applications, lunch boxes, and backpacks with school supplies.
If you know anyone in need of food, there are 3 farm share events happening today. Representative Angie Nixon has partnered with Johnson YMCA for a farm share food giveaway from 11 o'clock this morning until 2 o'clock this afternoon. State Representative Wyman Duggan, City Councilman Reggie Gaffney, and Randy White have teamed up for a food distribution event beginning at 9 o'clock And Thankful Missionary Baptist Church will serve 200 households today, also at 9. Football fans, the wait is almost over. We're taking a live look at TIAA Bank Field, where the Jags will host the Cleveland Browns in the team's first preseason game. The Jags have a new quarterback in town, Trevor Lawrence, and a new head coach, Urban Meyer. And after going 1-15 last year, don't remind us, they're hoping to bounce back this year. Kickoff is tonight at 7.
And I had a really sweet story. A boy who was born with one hand is getting a prosthetic arm thanks to some hardworking high school students.
Yeah, very touching story. Coming up, how these students were able to build it and what the kid says he's most excited to do now that he has 2 hands. And another live look out over Jacksonville Beach. Look at that, the rain droplets on the lens. But a lot of folks out there this morning. 7:54, you're watching the morning show on the local station.
McGowan's Heating and Air, when it comes to comfort. Trust Max.
Wake up with Hardee's.
You can have candy for breakfast.
Wait, what?
Because you are an adult.
Sure am. New $3 French toast dips. Sweeten up your morning at Hardee's. Feed your happy.
I've been telling everyone, the secret to great teeth is having healthy gums.
Crest Advanced Gum Restore detoxifies below the gum line and restores by helping heal gums in as little as 7 days. Crest, the #1 toothpaste brand in America.
Want to meet the unicorn of cleaning? Mr. Clean Magic Erasers. Over 100 ways to use. Mr. Clean Magic Erasers.
News for Jax celebrates all the people making a positively Jax difference, like this local coffee shop that helped a local youth group brew awareness and fuel the fight against systemic racism.
Proud of all the young men that's coming together and being leaders and showing everyone that we're supposed to help everyone.
This partnership is to show and spread awareness of cultural diversity and the exposure that we want to give to our community.
To Bold Bean Coffee and EVAC, thanks for making a positively Jax difference.
The next time you head to Florida, expect an even warmer welcome with Easy Pass. Now you can use your Easy Pass to pay for tolls on Florida's toll roads and most bridges. Take advantage of more convenience and more savings with one toll account all across the Sunshine State. After all, on vacation, shouldn't everything be a little bit easier?
Subaru of Jacksonville, your favorite Subaru dealership, is ready to help you with your new Subaru. Save on one of our in-stock Subaru models, plus get 0% financing. Or order a custom new Subaru, including the all-new 2022 Subaru Outback. And every new Subaru from Subaru of Jacksonville comes with a complimentary national lifetime warranty or 2 years maintenance. Experience the Subaru of Jacksonville difference. Dealer Rater's Dealer of the Year 7 years in a row, when only the best will do.
Drive a Subaru. You'll buy a Subaru.
Wake up with Hardee's.
$2 sausage biscuit, $4 breakfast platter. But wait, new $3 French toast dips make the most important meal of the day more fun. Hardee's new $3 French toast dips, the sweet one on the 2-3 more breakfast menu. Feed your happy.
Monday, the boys are back. It's hard for me to keep the secret.
I can imagine that it would be hard for you to keep a secret.
Next, Kelly.
This is way better than The Voice.
Monday at 3 on Channel 4.
Teenagers at a summer program in Buffalo, New York are giving a young boy a pretty special gift.
Yes, very special gift. Well, Joseph Reed was born with one hand, but thanks to the WNY STEM Hub and this group of high school students, the soon-to-be second grader will now have a chance to experience the world with 2 hands. Reed says he's excited to finally have another limb, but something else has him even more excited.
He's a normal kid to me, you know. He does everything, plays soccer, plays basketball, plays skateboards, rollerblades, rides his dirt bike.
So you're gonna get this arm soon. What's the first thing you're gonna do?
Ride my bike with it.
So sweet. Well, the high school students working on the project says they plan to send similar devices to children in need in Ghana.
Oh, wow. Very nice. Well, we're still a ways away from the governor's election or race, but tons of money is already being poured into it. More than $5 million came in last month alone.
Governor Ron DeSantis is already seeing an advantage, but ahead at 8 o'clock, we'll tell you why his lead could be short-lived. Plus, a local lung cancer patient recently turned 70 years old, a milestone she did not think she'd ever reach.
At 8:40, she's joining us live to talk about another thing she hopes to accomplish. The morning show at 8 starts right after the break.
Hello, I'm Chad Froick. It doesn't matter what the weather conditions are here in Florida. Pests are always looking for a way to get into your home or business. At Florida Pest Control, we offer customer-friendly pest maintenance programs to help keep your home and business pest-free. Our technicians undergo continual training on the latest treatment methods. Contact Florida Pest Control for your free, no-obligation inspection. And remember, the only bugs we can't control are litter bugs.
The Weather Authority, tracking Fred. Live from the local station, the morning show starts now.
After a month without a named storm, there are now 2 systems taking shape. Good morning and thank you so much for joining us. Right now, the Weather Authority is monitoring 2 systems. As Fred moves closer to Florida, we now have a new tropical storm.
Meteorologist Danielle Giuliano is here with an update from the National Hurricane Center on where Fred is headed. Good morning, Danielle. What's the latest?
Yeah, so we're still watching